This is Precalculus, Chapter 2.2, the graph of a function. Let's get started. For number 12, we're going to use the graph of the function to answer the following questions. Letter A, let's find the f of 0. So f of 0 is basically asking you about the y value when the x equals to 0. So when x equals to 0, this is where it is, y equals to 0. So f of 0 equals to 0. So for f of 6, what is the y value when x equals to 6? This is where x equals to 6. So the y value equals to another 0. So what is the y value when x equals to 2? So this is where x equals to 2. The y value is negative 2. And what is the y value when x equals to negative 2? This is where x equals negative 2. Y equals to 1. So letter C, we're going to analyze the f of 3. So when x equals to 3, what does y equal to? We don't know, but we're going to answer, is it a positive or negative? Let's do an estimate. This is where x equals to positive 3, and we're estimate that the y value is going to be negative 1. So that's going to be a negative value. For letter D, f of negative 1, when x is equal to negative 1, we can estimate that the point is going to be right here. So negative 1, y value is going to be somewhere around 0.5. So f of negative 1 is positive. For letter E, this is saying that when y equals to 0, what does x equal to? These are all the y coordinates equals to 0. So x equals to 0, 4, and 6. Letter F, this is asking you that what is the interval of x when y is negative? This part is where y is below x-axis and is negative. Use the inequality and say that 0 is less than x is less than positive 4. For letter G, we're going to define the domain of the function. So it starts from this point, this is negative 4, and then at this point where this is positive 6. So we're going to write it like this. Domain is negative 4 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 6. For letter H, we're going to define the range. So the lowest point is right here. This is where y equals to negative 2. And the highest point is at this point where y equals to positive 3. So you're going to write it like this. Range is negative 2 less than or equal to y less than or equal to positive 3. So letter I, what are the x-intercepts? You see that there is a point right here, and a point right here. They're all the x-intercepts. So we can say that x is equal to 0, 4, and 6. So the best way to describe it is write down the coordinates. So you can write 0, 0, 4, 0, and then 6, 0. So letter J, what is the y-intercept? This is the only y-intercept we see. So you can say y equals to 0, or you express it in coordinates, that will be 0, 0. So letter K, we're going to draw a line where y equals to negative 1. And this is it, a horizontal line that intersects the graph 2 times. So we want to say twice. The letter L, we're going to draw a line where x equals to 1. This is how it looks, a vertical line that passes through the function intersected at one point. We're going to answer it once. For letter M, this is asking you that what would be the value of x when y equals to 3. So if you look at it, when y equals to 3, x equals to 5. So you can say that x equals to 5. For letter N, it says y value equals to negative 2. So what does x equal to? Here is the negative 2 for the y value, and x equals to positive 2. For number 14, we're going to use the vertical line test to determine whether the graph is a function or not. So go ahead and draw a bunch of vertical lines, and you can see that every vertical line only intersect the graph at one point. So you want to say that this is a function. So for number 16, if you draw a bunch of vertical lines like this, you're going to see that only one point of intersection for each vertical line. So you want to say that, yes, it's a function. For number 18, if you draw just one vertical line, you're going to find out that there are 2 points of intersection. So you want to say that this is not a function. For number 24, this graph passes the vertical line test with 1 point of intersections. So yes, it's a function. All right, that's it. Take care. Good luck with your homework.